Welcome back to Tic-Toc Creations. Sometime I will probably get a proper working area, but for now this will do. I decided to try something a little different than what I've been doing. I've been doing a lot of cutting boards, I've been doing some resin boards, small resin boards, about 12 inches long, about half the size of this. But after watching a bunch of YouTube videos, ironic I know, I saw a bunch of, let's say, countertop videos by a couple different brands of resin. I've seen some canvas pours, like this is a canvas, obviously. But I thought that since I wanted to eventually try getting into countertops, because I've actually been asked about that quite a bit if I do it or not, I had some old canvases that last night I spray painted a flat black, so I'd have a nice dark color to start out with. I figured I'd give it a go with trying out one technique anyway of doing a countertop pour on a canvas and see how that goes. I have put a tape dam around the edge because one of the techniques that I saw for a counter is you just paint the counter a solid color, usually white or black, and then you put a tape dam around the edge to hold the resin back. So you can pile it up just a little bit. And when you're ready, after the design and everything is set, or not set, but made, you carefully peel off the tape from the edge. And when you do that, the resin will just kind of flow over the edge. So the edge also ends up getting coated, but you don't really have to do anything. The biggest thing you have to do is just take a brush to take care of the surface tension so the color and the pattern will actually flow pretty much perfectly over the edge. And you don't have to do anything to do the edge. Just take the tape off and let the resin do its job. For pours such as this, you either start out with a solid color or clear, just to give something on the surface. Okay, one of the things I was kind of expecting is obviously the board was not completely sealed. It is cloth. I don't really want to lift it up to see if it's actually soaking through or not, but there are bubbles, so heat gun. You never want to hold heat on resin for too terribly long, especially not when it's in such a thin state, because you can make it exotherm very, very quickly, and that would be bad. That would be the exact opposite of what you want it to happen. You want it to remain as workable as possible. patterns that I saw, was basically just polka dots at first. But as it progressed, it turned into so much more. Hammer. Mallet. It's mallet time. That's not staying in the video. Okay, let's see here. Okay, back in action. Found some pieces of wood that were almost perfectly sized to put in there. Helps level it out some. And here's the tricky part. I don't know what I'm doing, and the video didn't really show. So I'm just going to wing it. Quick hit, just quick, with a heat gun, because there are some bubbles coming up. And hopefully it'll be quick enough that I don't completely destroy the pattern. One of the techniques that I've seen used on several pieces is just quick sprays of isopropyl alcohol. And generally speaking, it disperses the color and gives a really funky. Seeing it in the video and then seeing it in person is two entirely different things. In a video, you can't really tell that it's happening. Well, you can, but in person, that's just cool. In person, that's just a cool effect. That's just really cool. Except for over here. Over in this spot, it just almost instantly went away. As a quick update, this is what has happened over the course of the last hour or so. 30 minutes to an hour. Closer to an hour, I'd say. But there are some black spots that are opening up where the isopropyl alcohol was sprayed, and have some streaks on the sides simply because how the resin has been slowly flowing. But all in all, with how this is going, I am remarkably pleased with my first attempt. Yeah, I'm liking how this is going. Let's see where it goes from here. Okay, I admit I've been a bad YouTuber. I've been doing a bunch of things off camera. As you can tell, I've added some vein lines. And I've done a few other things that I should have been on camera for. Frankly, I've been playing, I've been having fun. It's mostly experimentation. I have been using a single popsicle stick, a heat gun, and the drips that I'm scraping off the edges of the canvas. You just heat them up a little bit, and you can drop them or streak them however and wherever you want. And the fun part is, see if I can get this to focus, is the streaks, or the drips, are streaked. The colors go all over the place. And as you can see, it's kind of dripping right now, but you heat it up a little bit. And they really start dripping. And then you can add more interesting patterns. Or you can just add a blob, or a couple. Heat it up a little bit, not too much or else you could actually burn the resin. Get rid of some of the extra on that. Add more pattern, and then you just use the heat gun ever so gently where you made the lines with the popsicle stick, and the resin heats up and closes the gap. Now, I'm not entirely sure how long this is going to take to dry, especially considering I keep messing with it. I keep heating it up, it keeps cooling back down. But you know what? I kind of like how this is turning out. At first it was just like a white and blue and brown piece of wood. Or rock, not wood. Duh! But with all these little extra pieces, the fact that the coffee, the brown, is a pearlescent, the more it mixes, the more it blends and merges in different ways and shapes and patterns, the more shimmery it gets. And I really am liking how this is turning out. Okay, pause for now and come back in the next update. At this point, things stopped moving around. I cleaned up what little drips there was. As you can see, the pattern did go down around the edge of the board as planned. And all the different little patterns that I put in by either dripping the somewhat hardened resin on top and by using a popsicle stick to draw in patterns, all of that stayed. And it's also completely flat. But thanks to all those lines that I drew in, it doesn't look flat, it looks three-dimensional. Now the only thing that I have left to do is wait for this to dry. Obviously it's a thin coat of resin, and the thinner the resin, the longer it takes to dry, I found out. But that being said, I can't wait to see this finished, and as soon as it is, I will definitely make sure to show you. Here it is, the final piece. Roughly 16 by 20 inches in total size. It's not entirely dry yet, but it has been completely stable now for about half a day. Making it quite stable. And I am very happy and pleased with how this came out. Have some overlapping on all the edges of the pattern. And I must say, the only thing that I would do different if I did this again would be to make it on a piece of wood or something a little bit stronger than canvas, so I wouldn't have the same issues of trying to keep it level. And there you have it. The finished piece with an actual size comparison representation, so you can see roughly about how big it is. This is the first one out of who knows how many. This is also an experimentation into trying to see if I would be able to get any kind of pattern such as this for potential tabletops or counters. And well, I'm planning on doing several more of these. And if you like what you see, if you like anything else you've seen on my channel, please like, subscribe, share, and please continue with me on this journey and see what else I come up with.